Hey class, this is your instructor just giving you a quick tutorial on the assignment for the group project. I just want to make sure I go over a few things with you and show you an example of the PowerPoint slide. Um, Remember, you got to have 10 to 12 slides, okay? That's also including reference page and also your title page, okay? Um, Essays and PowerPoints go by the same requirement when it comes to plagiarism and quoting. Matter of fact, do not quote. Don't use any quotes, just like you shouldn't be using quotes in essays. Um, Cite your work. Now, when a group leader submits this to Lope Rights, because it's required, as you see here, to submit to Lope's right, um, make sure you're double checking. If you're the group leader, double checking that score and opening up the score by clicking on the actual report to ensure that there is no a lot of similarity word for word. If there is, then you're going to have to communicate that with the group or make the appropriate changes. Okay. There should be no paragraph writing. All right. So let me show you the example that I want to post for you guys. Okay. Notice a few things. Here's a presenter notes right here. So there is requirements for you to write presenter notes. This is where you write in paragraphs, no quoting. Yeah, okay. If you use a source, you have to cite it in here too. Okay. So make sure that you're doing that because if you look at here, there's nothing but bullet points. Okay. I'm going to post this as an attachment. There is no paragraph writing. Okay. All right. Notice how there is a visual aid, there is a picture, it's cited, and there's still bullet points. Okay. Do not post a picture with just one or two bullet points. Make sure there's at least three. Okay. Also, if there shouldn't be no slides with just a picture. Okay. That's inappropriate. Notice in the example, there's at least three. Follow that rule, okay? Notice how there's just bullet points. There's no paragraph writing, okay? None, all right? So if you notice in each of these slides, there's something written, okay? All right? Now there is a 6x6 rule as far as the limit. All right, so obviously you have three bullet points and you have some sub bullet points on some of these main bullet points, okay, which is appropriate. All right. And the reason why my voice sounds like this is because every time I post this and group members and group leaders still submit a PowerPoint and there's major deductions, it's because somebody didn't follow directions on either completing the slides appropriately or writing, or the group leader didn't check things off as well. Everyone's responsible for their own, but since this is a group project and someone stepped up as a group leader also has to make sure everything's good too. Okay. Now, um, with bullet points, the reason why you do bullet points is because it's supposed to be a presentation. Okay. So basically, the presentation isn't having where you have somebody who's presenting to an audience of, like, let's say 20 people. You don't want 20 people to be reading a paragraph while you're talking. The bullet points are to keep the audience engaged on where the conversation's at, and it keeps also the presenter organized, okay? And make sure it also ensures that the presentation is in a constant flow and organized so it's not all over the place, all right? Now, this tutorial does not replace the reading of the directions, so I still want you to open this up and read these things, okay? Right? Okay, so make sure you're following these steps because I'm going to be paying attention for it. This is how PowerPoint slides should have been groomed towards you since your first PowerPoint presentation in whatever class it was. If this is your first time, it's okay. Just make sure you're following these steps. Okay, so you're making bullet points of main points in your selected um, part of the project. You're having presenter notes. Okay. All right. Each group member, if there's four, should be at least 2 to 3 per person slide of information. Also make sure that every one of you sends the reference to their um, group leader. Okay, do not think that the group leader's there to complete it for you. Don't just throw information at them and say, here, put this in bullet points. Everybody in the group's responsible for doing their part in organizing it, where you have bullet points, presenter notes, and citations. Okay, make sure you guys do this. If you have any questions, you need to ask me. Okay, if there's any confusion on the requirements, make sure after this video you read through the directions, you watch the PowerPoint, you read the PowerPoint instructions, and you ask me before I leave the office on Friday. Okay, so please do that.